Weaver ran off with this woman's heart. He also ran off with her lingerie and gave it to another girlfriend.
Tom, you're crook, Tom.
Weaver had a string of spurned sweethearts, but they got together and got even with the rogue they called the king of the Casanova con men.
I'll tell you that within 3 minutes of having met you, he knew that you were the woman he wanted to share the rest of his life with.
Mine was 5 minutes.
Dream Weaver.
Hello everyone, I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Welcome to A Current Affair. There's a man behind bars right now who owes his plight to some heroines who refuse to play victim. Ironically, it all started with one woman's love for a man called Tom Weaver, the man she now calls the Dream Weaver.
We've all heard people stretch the truth. Taken for a ride.
Tommy Pierce is singing about a man who blazed a trail of bad checks and broken hearts across the state of Texas.
King of cons, the Duke of Deceivers, baddest in the land of the tall tale weavers.
His name is Tom Weaver, but a lot of people in Austin call him something else.
Tom Weaver is a small-time liar.
A liar and a thief?
Petty criminal.
He's a dream merchant. He sells dreams, and Tom is the best salesperson that I've ever seen.
What's in it for a liar?
At our first meeting, he said, "You don't know it yet, but I've decided that I want to spend the rest of my life with you." He made me feel pretty. He made me feel smart. He made me feel wanted. He just makes you feel all the things that you want to feel.
He finds an honest woman, wins her with his charm. He offers her a diamond ring, promises the farm.
When they said their vows, June thought she was marrying an attorney, a pilot who owned radio stations and homes around the world. But the honeymoon was over 6 months later when June learned her Don Juan was really a con Juan, on parole from Tennessee where he had served time for fraud.
When I finally confronted Tom about his parole and pressed him about it, that I did know the truth, he kept saying it was a lie, that's when he got violent for the first time.
What did he do?
The first time he was violent with me, he knocked me down so hard that I broke my tailbone.
June says there were other lies, other bruises, other broken bones. But when June and her newborn baby girl finally left, she found out there were other women, too.
At this point, I know of at least 4 women that he has asked to marry while he's still married to me. I can't even tell you how many women he has been involved with. I would guess 40, 50.
By the time she's fallen, he's vanished in thin air. He's off telling lies to his new and current affair.
Saturday morning, I get 24 more roses with a card that says, "I look forward to the next 99 years with you. Love, Tom." This is while he's still married to another woman and has a child.
Tom Weaver's web of love came unraveled when the women began calling the cops and each other.
I said, "Tom, you have a wife, Tom. Tom, you have a baby, Tom. Tom, you're crook, Tom."
Did he use the line, "You're not the person I thought you were"?
Yes.
They had found each other through phone messages and bills Tom left behind for them to pay. Their stories were different, yet the same.
There are 4 women that I know of that I have spoken to that have called me. I don't even know who they are. They call me out of the blue, that have just broken down in tears and just crying, and your heart just breaks, goes out to them. It's very sad. It's just really sad to see the intensity with which she has hurt people.
Robin Scott met Tom when he answered her personal ad. Dawn Hansen answered an ad Tom placed for a roommate. This woman, who asked that we not use her name, met Tom through work.
He takes you out on the very first day, and he'll tell you that within 3 minutes of having met you, he knew that you were the woman that he wanted to share the rest of his life with.
See, mine was 5 minutes. Wasn't 3, it was 5.
Well, it took him a couple hours to tell me, but he gave me a diamond. He fished one out of his pocket, and I went, And I said, "That's not real," because it was huge. So he took the ring and he proceeded to scratch the whole length of the window to prove to me that it was a diamond. Well, time, I did not know that cubic zirconia scratches glass as well.
Not only was the ring fake, it belonged to his wife, June. Another woman brought back June's favorite hats and shoes.
He also had passed along to her some of my lingerie that we had bought on one of our trips and all of the stockings to go with it.
This is beautiful stuff. I mean, it's beautiful Oscar de la Renta, gorgeous, lacy, very elegant lingerie.
That was June.
Did you have a floor lamp that was black? I have it.
I mean, I know there's stuff of mine strewn all over everywhere that I'll never get back.
What's in it for a liar? And what rewards a cheat?
Now you might ask, why is a musician like Tommy Pierce singing about a con man like Tom Weaver? He got taken for a song.
Gives a man his solemn word and signs a dotted line. He's supposed to do what he says, not whatever comes to mind.
Pierce says Weaver signed a contract to buy his house and then reneged on the down payment.
He was supposed to give me $10,000 and gave me $2,000. And 3 months later, I got a call from someone who said they had sent me $2,000, but Tom had promised them that the money was for artwork, that they had sent it to me. So he duped somebody else into sending me the money. That kind of fooling around hits below the belt. Land him in a striped suit, lying to himself.
Eventually, the cops did catch up with Weaver, thanks in part to this little black book compiled by the women he loved and left.
These are a lot of Tom's personal notes that were leads to victims that I collected, and this is pretty extensive.
These victims were getting together and talking to each other, and then they would call me offering me any kind of assistance that I needed from them. So I had a lot of outside help too. I can't take all the credit. Locally, he's got to 10 of our banks and other financial institutions here. He's defrauded them of approximately $50,000, and but in addition to that, what he's done to these women is probably every bit as bad or worse, although it may or may not be criminal.
Tell that to the women whose hearts were stolen by the King of Thieves, disguised as a Prince Charming. Tell it to the young mother who carried a stun gun she says she needed to protect herself from the man she used to love. And tell it to the little baby whose father is in jail, charged with fraud.
I think the one thing that all women will say is if you meet Tom Weaver, run as fast as you can in the other direction. Get away from him. It's just not who he says he is.
All it takes is to twist the truth. Are the spoils that sweet? Tell me, are the spoils that sweet? Are the spoils that sweet?
Tom Weaver has been charged with 6 counts of theft, and he could get 20 years in jail if he's convicted.